Hits and Crits. This video is brought to you by Asmodee.
What's up, Hits and Crits family? Welcome to the Free Folk Season 6 patch video for this exciting change of Season 6 with a whole lot of new attachments, a lot of changes. Mag is out there, Rattleshirt is up there, but let's not spoil it, but so much to cover today. Who else joins me than LArks, one of the best Free Folk players I know, at least. Great to have you, man. But before we start, we have to pull the winner of our our general changes video for Season 6. We have to pull a winner. So let's take a look. I opened the video up already. So we have 92 comments in total right now as we record the video.
Amazing.
I sorted as top comments, so all the top comments which got the most likes and the hearts and whatever are on top, and it's 92 again. So give me a random number between 1 and 92, please.
1 and 92. And can you just remind me, what's the price again? The price is?
It's Vargo Horde. Should I grab it again? I can grab one up here. So for everyone to remember, like in the Season 6 patch general changes video, we got the Vargo Horde miniature. It's a promo miniature. It's pretty hard to get, I would say. Only in bigger events, international events, you can grab some, but it's probably impossible, like over eBay or something, you won't find it. So, I
actually got my first one during the invitational.
Oh, really? That's your first one?
So, yeah.
Okay. So, again, number between 1 and 92.
Okay, so I will try to really quick, so that we...
Oh, you do it randomly over Okay, yeah, let's go. Okay. Take your time. Take your time.
Got it. Click it.
Until
35.
35. Okay, 35. So let's see. 35. I have to count a little bit, so please bear with me. It will just take...
Scrolling.
There he is. Summit 7579. My biggest surprise... Congratulations, Summit. My biggest surprise is Relentless wasn't changed at all. I can see Relentless becoming one of the meta-defining points in Season 6. So, before we jump into this comment, congratulations to your Vargo promo miniature. I will reach out to you over YouTube because I just have your name, but I will do. So, congratulations again to your Vargo Horde miniature. So, before we jump to Free Folk, LArks, on this particular comment, do you see this happening? That this, like, with taking all the extra actions out, that Relentless, which gives you extra actions, does become meta-defining? Do you see it the same way?
Just to remind everyone out there what Relentless does, right? It's basically if I attack you and you have a unit with Relentless, after my attack, you attack me back, basically.
Yeah.
With, it's normally, you put it in strong units, right? And for example, combine it with something for set for charge, right? I charge in you set for charge me, and afterwards attack me again.
Yeah.
So it can be nasty.
Yeah.
And traditionally, it was something to just surpass, right? You play around it and try to not trigger it. But now that you, for example, could play it twice in Night's Watch, right?
Yeah. And I will.
Might be, you will, I'm afraid. It might be that there are some list concepts that really try to leverage that.
Yeah.
I think that we will see a rise in abilities, or that competitive players will focus on abilities that shut off abilities, like Tivin again, like the Wolf from Free Folk that we will talk about later.
Yeah.
And so in this case, it doesn't matter what kind of nasty ability you have, right? If I shut it down, anyways.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I think if you don't have these tools, it might be pretty obnoxious to play against.
Yeah. True. Yeah, so congratulations again. And to lose not more time, let's jump into Free Folk. So as we always do, we jump into the current state of the Free Folk. So no better than LArks to kick this off with a little recap of where we come from with these guys from up north, up north.
Yeah, and I would rather try to start the analysis of the current state with a quick recap from SO5, right?
Yep.
So what happened? We saw the nerf to traps that we talked in length in our last video. If you want to watch it again, go for it. It's analyzed in detail there. We had the skin changer change with the bear horde, the beloved bear horde, and the bear bazooka and all that. But let's not lose time.
Not roll it up again. Yeah.
Yeah, not roll it up again.
Yeah.
Styre got kind of removed as the meta commander. He's still out there, but Final Strike was replaced by Bitter Demise, which is not a bad card, but nothing.
Nothing compared to Final Strike, right? Yeah.
We saw a change to Giants, which, from my experience, was correct and right, but didn't really help them too much. And we saw some minor changes here and there. We saw, for example, a change to Jarl. We saw a change to I think Enrage in the Giant deck.
Yeah.
That was basically what happened. And in general, it was conceived as a nerf overall, even though we had the Bear Force 1. That was something, but eventually the community took care of it. And other than that, I mean, bears are, I think, they're maybe not nice to play against, but they are not as oppressive now as
exactly. Yeah, I would also say I knew when the changes came around and everyone was really, really afraid of what might happen with these bears. But now I had the honor to play against quite a few of them. And even if you spam 3 of them, even if you do this or that, as you say, it's not nice, it's not cool, especially for like again, me when you come around with like huge or really tanky or good units, like expensive units, and this thing just holds you up, right? It just goes there, and then finally you kill it at some point, and you do not even score from it. Yeah, so
he's so good against the bear is very good against, and it's a staple of many lists still. But it's very good against elite units in 2 ways, because on one hand, it really degrades the armor, right? It gives -1 in addition to its own sunring to units in contact, and it just wastes valuable activations or actions out of your elite units, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So like, and we will take a look at the numbers right now, but like to remember the old glory times, Free Folk are coming from a place back then. The man's trapper, man's raider meta was there. We're coming from a very solid spot within Song. But this decreased over time. Do you, before I jump to the numbers, do you think, and we discussed that in our last video also, do you think that the hidden traps nerf was one big hit they had to took? Was that one of the key reasons why we see, and we will take a look now at the numbers, that we see those decreasing numbers in win rate, pick rate, whatever?
I mean, traps, again, like go back to the video and rewatch it, guys. It's a big blow in terms of efficiency, and this was one of the key concepts in your steer list, for example. And in the past, it was always like when we see these numbers, right? We basically, with some outliers, have a story of a decreasing win rate over the last patches in combination with a decrease in pick rate also. And this was counterbalanced by very good releases normally, right? We had Varamir back in the day. We had the chariots, right? The chariots, 4-point chariots, awesome. And they were always pretty nice. We also had the spear thrower giants, not bad. But then we had like Harmer's Vanguard. That wasn't helping too much in terms of shaping the meta and lifting up the win rate. So, and we had very rough patches in the past, but they were always counterbalanced by nice releases, and that's what we are missing right now. And that's what you see in the numbers. And where we are right now, we are with Free Folk in an okay-ish state, right? But we are definitely below the curve, below the curve. And Free Folk, again, remember, it's still a hard army to pilot. It's not easy to pilot and to master, but still, even if you master it, you are in the meta right now. I mean, it's new forming. We will see where the meta ends up, but in the meta in SO5, you still had like a lot of tough matchups, even if you mastered your Free Folk play. And that's what we, I think, see reflected in the numbers. And the pick rate, yeah, it's a little bit sad. It saddens my Free Folk heart. So, I mean, maybe give yourself a push. Discover your inner underdog, your inner untouchable, and
learn to
maybe
love them again in season 6.
Channel your love
Exactly.
for Free Folk, please.
So in terms of commanders, we were season 5 was dominated by Varamir, right? With when you check all the bigger tournaments, Varamir was at least in one of the lists to bring, to and I see you play it to basically swarm your enemy, to hold them up with the pets, bring mag in and kill it without any defensive abilities, without any tactics cards, without with all the shenanigans the pets can do. So we've seen that quite often. We also saw mag, like when we take a look at the stats, we see mag.
That was surprising to me.
Exactly,
actually, when I looked it up.
Yeah.
I know he's definitely fun to play and people like to bring him, but he is by far, with I think 35 or something percent,
43?
the most 33, yeah.
43% win rate, yeah.
Not win rate.
Not win rate.
Win rate, yeah. 43 is the win rate, which is really disappointing.
Exactly.
But the pick rate is by far, I think it's double the pick rate of Varamir.
Yeah, I think
that was surprising.
Yeah, I think that really comes from people just want to make giant lists to exist, right? And to play it, even though they know I probably might not come up on top, but I still want to do it because I want to play like people want to play 3 dragons, or like people want to see dragons on the battlefield. They want to see giants as well. I think that's the main reason. And I am actually, I have to say, I belong to this group of people that wants to see giant lists work and perform
Me too.
at least decent or at least good. Right? Yeah. So that's that. We also see some Torment. As you said, Styre was also up there, but since Styre was changed, the Bitter Demise card put him in a spot where he's like only average across the Free Folk faction. So yeah, this is what
Torment and Styre like basically share the places behind them, and they're both very good like regular infantry commanders. Styre is the defensive one, and Torment obviously is the aggressive one. And that's the less specialized commanders in comparison with Varamir and Mag.
Yeah. Okay, so that's where we come from. So now we got the changes, right? We got the fully new list building. We got some changes to attachments. Also, Free Folk was one of the factions that really got their commanders changed. As basically the only ones, right? I mean, Mag was a change, and I think no real. We didn't see many changes to commanders except in Free Folk. So let's jump to general changes. What can we expect from this new list building style, and also from the changes we saw on reduced attacks, motivated by coin, maybe Might of Throne? What do you see there?
For like what one should know is that Free Folk traditionally is very weak against range play, and range plays together with cav play is something you have to prepare for, and it's traditionally hard to play against, especially since traps got nerfed.
Yeah,
and with the change to motivated by coin, which allowed you free attack via bags, also on ranged units. You saw it obviously often with like GCX, Golden Company crossbowmen with Bronn, for example, was the go-to pick. And since this is gone, this probably might help Free Folk. This would be one thought. Another would be that we also now have access to more attachments. That's probably a good thing. But in general, we already had like good access to attachments because of our
adaptive
and raiders, right? And like you have to understand that in Free Folk, you're buffing, generally speaking, lousy units, right? And the question whether this is I don't know, an idea that is very promising is up to debate. Like buffing up units that are designed in a way to be cheap and efficient is maybe questionable, whether that's the route to success. Yeah, that would be two thoughts. I have another one, which would be that 8 activation lists might become more present now on the battlefields of Westeros because people want to try to max out on their points, and one unit is already your commander bunker and so on, and you probably might want to bring more field units, and this would lead or could lead to an 8 activation meta. Now, Free Folk sits traditionally in the competitive environment at 9 activations. And because most of the majority of the list were 7 activations. So you had 2 activations advantage, and that's comfortable to play. Now, with 8 and pass tokens, this could be a problem. And I think this is something to worry about. And the question is, can you tech, or are you supposed to then tech up to 10 now or what? Which you can do. But then, your lists get pretty lackluster in terms of quality. So that's also something to think about.
Okay. So to summarize it, the changes we got for the whole game are not as promising for Free Folk as we hoped for.
One positive, in terms two other negatives, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But not like, oh wow, now it's getting right. Make Free Folk great again, like from the winner we see. But we also see Free Folk changes, specific Free Folk changes, right?
Yes.
So let's take a look into this. So the first one I'm really excited about, and that also comes from my heart from being a Night's Watch player, is Rattleshirt, because Rattleshirt always attaches cards as I can't. I can't really do anymore, at least not for long, but he can. So guide us through Rattleshirt, Daniel.
I think Rattleshirt is a commander they like cmon tries to make work for quite some time now, and maybe they now nailed it. In the past, let's go to the commander attachment first. It basically in the past had an ability which allowed you to let me look it up real quick. It was trophy collecting.
Trophy collecting,
and it allowed you to, if you attached a card, Rattleshirt's command, you could fish one, right, from tactics deck or discard pile,
and attach it, right, and attach it to another unit, correct?
Attach it to his unit.
Oh yeah, to his unit. Yeah.
Now it's much more easy and streamlined, I would say. It's basically, let's say you don't have a commander card of him. When you activate a unit, that's a trigger, right? You can get one from discard pile or your deck. So pretty easy. That's the order. What is it? Trophy Hunter?
Trophy Hunter, yeah.
Yeah. And Trophy Collector, which is now the innate ability, basically says, and that's interesting. Any attached card within short range of Rattleshirt now also counts for him, right? So technically, you could have 2 units completely stacked with all 3 cards, and Rattleshirt also profiting from it. So 3 completely buffed up units, which is something.
Yeah.
So that's
especially the trigger. Especially when I remember playing Rattleshirt, I played him like, I don't know, twice, 3 times, not more. I also got really frustrated in terms of how of the trigger, basically. Frustrated by the trigger. It's like that not getting much out of him, except that you can take the Followers of Bone, which is a pretty nice unit, but
Bonelord's Chosen, you mean? Yeah.
Sorry, exactly. The other one. The Bone Lord Chosen unit, which I really like. But that was in the past it was like this. And now I really see where he should be. As you said, I also feel this change puts him into a really interesting space next to still Varamir, right? Next to the other commanders. He will be seen way more often now.
And this is also not only because of his attachment, because the cards change too, right?
Yeah.
And in two ways. All cards received an additional paragraph down at the bottom, which basically says, if you play a card, play another one.
Get another one and play it, right? Yeah.
Play another one.
Need that too.
Ignore the regular trigger, and you can play it like everywhere you want.
yeah.
Which is pretty nice. So in combination with his newly phrased order, you can now get things going pretty quickly.
Yeah.
That's the general change to all three cards. And in addition to that, armor trophies, which is like the defensive buff, got a little tweak. And historically, it was only like +1 defense. And now it's that your opponent is not able to spend vulnerable tokens, which is like a Donald ability, you could imagine, which is always on. And I mean, Free Folk it doesn't get better really with your infantry or cavalry than 4+. But again, then you are sitting at 3+.
And no vulnerable token.
And no vulnerable on your Thens, for example. And Free Folk, the whole Free Folk game, you have to imagine as resource management, basically. And every wound you can heal or every wound you can not take is a success. And so I think this one is pretty nice. Imagine it on Bearcalf, for example, also pretty good.
Especially because those cards can't be removed, right? They just stick. They're just there.
Yeah, I mean, Free Folk tends to pass his panic, like the panic test anyway, because
that's what I used to say on Night's Watch as well, but it's not true.
It's not true anymore. Yeah. For Free Folk, it's always like, I'm so happy if I pass my panic test.
On
8, 9,
on 8 and 9, and I always pass. Yeah, I know.
You remember the passes more than the fails.
Yeah,
but
that's probably
so
the
I think
case,
Rattleshirt now is in a good spot. And we will showcase later. Like, there are nice units in the Free Folk roster, very efficient units that you buff with these cards, in addition to the now open attachments that you can combine it with. So pretty cool.
Yeah. So he's next on the list. No, he's second on my list. But we will we'll go there.
Point, also, like, he brings intimidating presence on his attachment too, which is a great ability. And I would love for Free Folk to be able to play the panic game again. They are not there yet, but maybe, developers. We have some wishes for the developers prepared later on.
Yeah,
and,
probably. Yeah.
Free Folk being able to really play the panic game would be one of them.
Talking about panic, there's the Weeper, right? So the Weeper is basically the panic commander in the Free Folk roster, in the commander's roster. So, and he got 2 changes. So he always had the Grizzly example, which I always compare to Reek. So he used to receive 1 wound, and then all enemies in short range, they become panicked. So you basically, like Reek, just no roll, no 6, nothing. You just receive the wound. They made that better for Free Folk, or better for Weeper. Now it's only a hit, so it got reduced. Punching. Yeah, so just 1 punch in the face, and you have to take this, and all enemies in short range become panicked. So this is great, especially when you see his. Also, he brings Vicious into a unit, so he can really work in Fen warriors. He can. That's probably his base. I also played him once in Cave Dweller Savages, but like I think one natural thing to do is the Thens, because he should stay. He should deal out his panic right there in the middle as right? So that's that. And the second one is, we already discussed that in our general changes video. So he had the remorseless examples card, which basically put out that weird, or that corpse pile, that only made your enemy weaker, and was basically a buffed or a even worse corpse pile. Exactly. +1 wound. So that was taken out in general of the game. And in general, we got bloody beheadings, which I describe as just a panic bomb, right? It's a panic bomb. When you clear a rank, it's a panic nuke. Yeah, it can be a nuke when you destroy. It's a panic bomb when you clear a rank. So basically, when you clear a rank, in long range, everyone becomes panicked, right? And if they already were panicked, they suffer a panic test. If you kill something, there's the nuke then. Everyone becomes panicked and needs to do a panic test. So that's pretty much the new card, which every commander got, that used to have remorseless examples. And I really love this card in terms of, what you just said. In terms of panic play, this card is big, especially against certain factions. Not probably but again, like coming from even Night's Watch, right? If you get this card and everyone has like, I don't know, 1-2 cards attached.
Here are your 10 cards back.
Here are your 10 cards back. Just take them, right? But even for Night's Watch, but also especially with Boltons, Lannisters, all these other factions that come around with not the best morale.
Like imagine Free Folk Mirror.
Free Folk Mirror also. So so I really like these changes. What do you think about the Weeper and his new card?
Here's the thing. Like with bloody beheadings, it's an I don't know. It sets my imagination.
I know.
It lets my It goes on, and I was so like that's what it does,
exactly.
right? I'm mutating to the Reaper myself if I read the card, but the thing is, we are talking about an unmodified panic test with a token at best.
True.
And we see a little bit of not moral power creep, but like we have a lot of units with moral 5 now in the game, and you need to do stuff to really make this happen and to really make it the great card that we all hope it is.
Yes.
If you're not playing in the Free Folk Mirror, that's one thing. So since we, for example, we don't have like wide access to intimidating presence. We also, we'll cover later, lost spread fear to make another panic test out of it. I think it's great, but you really have to make it work. And also, it's a card that gives you another snowball effect when you are already probably on the good side. That's something to keep in mind. And coming back to the Grizzly example change, that is nice. It comes back to what I said. If you're playing the resource management game, and you say basically like, "Hi, here are my 72 life points. Come get me," and try to get through. And every wound you are not taking is really important. And over the course of the game, you are probably triggering this ability 3-4 times, might be, if it's a long game, and this might result in 3-2 wounds you're saving, and that's good. Yeah. And also a set of cards now is pretty cool. Cruel Methods is a strong card. It's a burst heal start of any turn. Not Free Folk normally heals friendly turn. And this is 4 wounds start of any turn. Pretty good. Price of Failure, obviously, on Cave Dweller Savages.
Obviously,
if you have like full attack dice from Battle Scars, you can go in and just do it.
Yeah, also weaken resolve, right? When an enemy fails a panic test, weakened, right? You can probably bring even horrific visage in there, maybe through the Follows of Bone or something. I don't know. So I think he's probably not as good as Rattleshirt now, from what I not played him or anything, but just from what my vibe is a little less, but I see him used way more often, because right now I would say Weeper is taken, I don't know, never, basically.
I tried him a couple of times during the last patch, and because of Cruel Methods in particular. And it wasn't bad, and now it's even better.
Hmm.
So yeah, go try them out.
Let's see. Okay, so we got the Great Walrus also. So
Yes.
Great Walrus change was actually quite small, but does it mean much, Daniel, or is it just a little nice change?
First of all, it's a card now, or the card changed.
Yeah.
And it basically underlines now the character of this commander to be a resilient kind of commander, and playing going for the long plan, so to speak. And it now heals a wound on every activation, and again, every wound counts in Free Folk. And the catch is that it also can attach to cav units, so it's a way to heal bear riders, which we are missing now. In my books, bear riders are not the best unit to begin with anyway, still, unfortunately. So I would like to see them buffed, or would have liked to see them buffed in combination with it. But this is something, and it's a card that sticks and will heal your unit over the course of the game if you can manage to keep it alive.
Yeah.
So yeah, but for me, Great Walrus, I know people like him, but if you look at the facts, his win rate is pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I think he has still a rough time. But now, I think again, we have to, as free folk, be cunning and be. We have to explore our ways to make it hard for our opponents, and the year might be one now.
Yeah, I think the card Battle Endurance is, especially when you are not too deep in the game, Battle Endurance is a card which sounds or which looks really appealing at first.
Yeah.
But I think Battle Endurance has its home in factions like Baratheons, where you just know these units, they tend to stay there, being healthy, and in the course of the long game, they get better and better and better. Within the Free Folk, as you said, sometimes you have like not as good units, or they tend to receive quite some damage, possibly. So then Battle Endurance is So Battle Endurance is a card which functions probably not as good in Free Folk as it would be in other factions. So
yeah, and it's always like when you play your Endless Horde card, right? Which is your get out of jail card. If you draw out early, you have to predict, okay, which unit will die. I mean, you have an
where can I
influence
put
on
it,
right? But units will die, and sometimes you are just wrong because the game goes another way than you imagined. And this is the same with Battle Endurance. Like, so it's not as good as you said as in other factions, probably.
Yeah, true. All right, let's go now because I can't wait anymore. Let's go to the most exciting thing. When I saw it like a few months back, when I seen Mag, the first thing I did, I read the card 3 times, and then I understood it. Because I didn't get fully, because I saw the card first before I read the thing about 4 more, 3 more, 4 more, 5 more points. So I didn't get it. So I read it 3 times, and then I got, as soon as I got it, when I read all the notes, I did my, as I said in the general changes video, I did my 8 activation only monster list, because I just want to see it on paper. I want to see it perform. I want to see it play. And again, there might be better mag lists in the future, most probably, but I just want to do it with 2 mammoths, 3 giants, 3 NCUs, and just have fun, right? So that's what happens. So mag basically gets reduced when you take him as a commander. He's 5 points, as we all know. And when you are not using these free unspent, if you do not spend the free attachment points, he gets reduced by 1 always. So that could bring him to 1 point for a 9-point unit, which
that's fair, right?
it sounds fair. We have to see it now in reality, but I think it's great, and it just fuels my ambition to make these lists work. So I really want to see it. So what do you think about the mag change?
It gives you more wiggle room, right? That's good.
Yeah.
But we have to because people were probably like, "What, make for 1 point? That's crazy!" And I don't know how to win against giants anyway. And yeah, they might be strong if you come up against them for the first time. But trust me, if you play them or against them for a couple of times and you get behind the scenes and you know how everything is working, they have big flaws, and they
Big
unfortunately not.
flaws.
Yeah, very big.
Very big flaws.
They are unfortunately not very reliable.
Yeah.
They tend to be easy to kill even, and this the whole deck is pretty clunky. It's on the path to being better, but there's still work to do. We will
There's room to
talk about it
improve.
later.
Yeah.
And this is all not changed by this. Nevertheless, this gives you wiggle room, and it makes in conjunction with the Mammoth change, and so it's very nice, but it's not game breaking. It's really not game breaking. It was needed. They needed to do it. Otherwise, the chieftain of giants would have fallen behind even more than he's already now. Again, remember, 43% win rate. It has to do with being popular and people just want to bring him and so on. But it also has to do with this the inner structure.
Yeah. So while you say tactic stack, right, from Mag, can you tell me, as a really experienced player in this realm of the way northern area, did you ever make trample work at any point in time in your life? Because saying spoiler alert, I didn't. So how did you?
I mean, I don't know how many games of Mag I played, but I played my fair share for sure.
Yeah.
And I think I played it once, and I was pretty happy about it. But even then, it was just I played it, and it
I played
had
and
an
it
effect.
worked. It had an effect. Exactly.
It had an effect.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure whether it was like the best move to do, but there was a possibility to do it, and I
you
did
took
it
it
because I can now talk about it.
You took your chances. Yeah.
So yeah, this card needs a look for sure. And there's Defiant Roar, for example, which is like a token on a condition. And if you see like how omnipresent token play is and how other factions can dish out tokens, I mean, you have to
like
be
candy,
careful with Refolk. I get it, but no. So it's nice, and you can now make crazy lists with 3 spear throwers, and we saw 2 mammoth and so on. It's nice. Go explore that. And also one thing which Mickey, shout out to Mathereth, pointed out during our office hour, which is interesting. If you reduce the points to 1, this has the implication that in Here We Stand, where you need 5 points to score a quadrant, your commander gives +3 there. So 1 + 3 is 4, not 5. You cannot score a squadron with your commander anymore. So you maybe want to bring 1 free attachment.
One raider
make
tray.
it 2 points. So
Okay.
you still can score. But yeah, that's for Here We Stand. Just a little interesting side note there.
Okay, so that's on Mag. We will check out a list later because everyone wants to see a giant list. But let's now go to the attachment, because since it was an attachment heavy change. So let's start with Rattleshirt, and I think it's kind of interesting because when I saw it first, and we had our talk about it, when I saw Rattleshirt for the first time, and I saw they took Spread Fear away, which I do not use often. Like in general, I used it a little bit in Boltons, but I never really used it. And I said, well, that's a buff. I like it. And you said, no, this attachment is now won't be used anymore, really, because it lost Spread Fear and gained Fueled by Slaughter, because it's not really, I don't know. So we really had our differences. What do you think about this change?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's not used anymore for sure. And
or it's not the best 2-point attachment now.
For me, it was always a very nice combination, Spread Fear and Intimidating Presence, because you could panic bomb and you could go the panic route. And like imagine Spread Fear in combination with Bloody Beheadings, right? This would be awesome.
True.
And now that's not working anymore. I would agree that in general, Fueled by Slaughter is an awesome ability and definitely stronger than Spread Fear. But again, you have to think in which faction you are. As I said, every wound counts, and every wound healed by Fueled by Slaughter is cool, but it's still a wound on a 5+ armor tray, probably. And sometimes if you go this route with the panic, you also need to make sure to push damage. And Spread Fear was one interesting way to do it. So
Yeah.
I'm a little bit sad that we don't have it anymore. But again, Fueled by Slaughter is great. And if you put this in, I don't know, whatever unit.
Cave Dwellers?
Yeah, you don't have Vicious then, which is sad with Intimidating Presence. So you
True.
probably... But then again, Followers of Bone... Yeah. Followers of Bone would be something to think about. But yeah, that's the point. You could obviously put it in Bone Lord's Chosen still, and they will really heal now because they have Prey on Fear already and Fueled by Slaughter.
Yeah.
So that could be something.
The idea on Cave Dwellers was just, I see Fueled by Slaughter obviously, functions the best when you kill a lot or when you clear ranks a lot.
Yeah.
So that was the idea. But maybe the Weeper on the other side also, basically the change is just Grizzly example, as we already seen in the Commander. It used to be a wound, now it's a hit. Same thing. So you put it in with Vicious. That could be a thing. I know that probably the Great Walrus is always better or more meta or more efficient, obviously. But I see him, like when you can, in Cave Dweller Savages, you come around with the Sundering. You come around with I panic everyone in short range, and then I also gain Sundering and Vicious. You can even deal more damage, because a lot of times you just do damage from the Sundering. Someone, but then passes their panic. With this, they probably do not pass the panic, so and could potentially even remove more wounds. But yeah, that's the change on the Weeper.
You can also, the Reaper can also go. I mean, if you really want to make the best of the change, you probably go with Fence, right? But if not, you can also just stick him in Trappers, which makes sense. Because you stay behind the line, and they tend to stay alive, and you can dish out a lot of tokens over the course of the game. And if you want to do your secret Trapper charge, they now have Vicious, which might be fun. But yeah.
True. All right, so let's go now to the unnamed attachment changes. So the Chosen of Styre, which is one of your favorite, I heard, gained Furious Charge. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I like the Chosen of Styre in a certain concept with Styre back in the days, and now it's an interesting one. I feel it was much needed to buff him a little bit. He was cool in specific scenarios, but probably falling behind the other ones. And Furious Charge now makes him, I think, synergize very well with Cave Dweller Savages. You go in, you have a vulnerable in combination with Sundering, which is good, and then you will get hit. You will maybe play Regroup and Reform from Cave Dwellers, and then you can really leverage the go down fighting to wear down your opponent. So I think Chosen of Styre now is pretty nice. Could also be nice just in Raiders, which can do the same. Stick them in the face to something, stay there, heal back up, and so on. And you can trigger then go down fighting several times over the course of a game. I like it. Pretty cool.
Yeah, on the right-hand side, we have the Walrus Clan Chieftain, which used to be 2 points, which also, in line with a lot of other 2-point attachments, went down 1 point, but also got a nerf in terms of resilience, was nerfed down to hardened, which is a nerf, which is probably fine for 1 point, but yeah, like in general, we would have loved to see more 2-point attachments within Free Folk, since we have this new list building format of bringing more attachment points now. And, bringing this down limits this also, like, or at least limits your possibilities to max out this. Right. So this is probably not a good thing. And I would have loved to see a resilient Iron Resolve unit that you can really buff. One of your Free Folk units will be so strong, will just stay there, and they will just be in the game and won't die quickly. How do you see it?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I think Hardened is not very good in Free Folk. It's also an ability which is on the Walrus commander attachment.
Yeah.
I think it wouldn't have been too bad to just leave it at 2. But now, and like what you said about 2-point attachments is very true. I think in other factions, it's really a thing that you don't have any real 2-point attachments anymore now that the neutrals are gone. And I think with Free Folk, we are kind of blessed because we have some that are good. We have Borok, we still have Tormund, we have John, Ygritte, there are some. But a defensive one would have been nice. True. Now, this is still, Iron Resolve in Hardened is still a good package, I guess, for 1 point. But I think Free Folk wouldn't have been oppressive, running around.
With resilience, with 1 resilience. No. Yeah.
So we will see.
We will see.
Yeah.
So another change that really fuels my enthusiasm, Mag Giants, is the Mammoth. Of course, the Mammoth meta. So Mammoths used to be on 6 points. 6 dice. I meant 6. They are 6 dice on 4 when they rampage. They also gained when charging. This unit may reroll any charge distance dice, which makes them at least a little more aggressive or more. They just have a way stronger aggressive presence now on the battlefield than they used to do. Because to remind everyone, Mammoths do not have a free maneuver as Cav has, so they just need to move in a good way and then charge in. And with this charge reroll, if you can easily go to 3. Right, if you won't feel bad about being in 3 range, having rerolls and try it out. You won't probably have to bring them in like to an auto charge. I don't know, but now it feels way easier to bring them in where you need them. How do you see it?
Yeah, true. And they are pretty much, I imagine, like a steam train, right? Just going down one route and hopefully deleting everything. But that's not what they are in terms of offensive qualities yet. And also, like, imagine, it's all true what you said, right? You can feel better and you can do your charge, but imagine you fail a charge and you fail your panic, losing only 2 wounds. That's still a quarter of your life.
Yeah.
Points. That's still like as if you lost 3 wounds on an infantry unit.
Yeah.
And so I think it's still something you want to do carefully. And 7 dice is the least they had to get. I would have loved to see 3+. Like, seriously, why not?
7 on 3.
And,
yep. Why not? Yeah.
And
feel the same.
And also, like, they have critical blow and sundering. Great keywords. Like, don't get me wrong, really great keywords. But they also they are all about, I feel, from a lore and
thematically.
They are an impact unit. And on the impact, they get a panic token, which is nice, but you don't have wishes. Why don't you get a vulnerable token to really make the impact felt?
Yeah. Felt like an impact. Yeah.
Just like as a suggestion, maybe change the tokens to vulnerable, and then they can really make a whole, so to speak. And 3+, I think, wouldn't be too bad. Because it's
not too much to ask for. No,
they can be weakened. They can be weakened, and then they are like 7 on 4 with a weaken is like, very mediocre.
Yeah, true.
But still, great.
That's true.
And I love to see them.
It goes in the right direction.
I will play them myself.
Yeah,
I swear. Awesome.
Mickey will
awesome
too.
unit,
he said.
Awesome model.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will hold him to his word.
Yeah, we will hold him. Okay. So these are the changes. Now we brought 2 lists where we feel these could really work, depending on what you're trying to achieve. But we obviously went for No, exactly. We're doing first of all, we exactly before we go to the list.
Wish list.
we prepared a little wish list. So basically, what could we think of when we think mid-season patch or upcoming patches? And Daniel, maybe we start with you because I already have this trample example. We put the trample example already and we discussed this. So yeah, check the full list. So what and we already mentioned Harma's Vanguard in the general changes video. So probably this is just obviously in one sentence a unit that does not really work in itself, and also not in Free Folk. They do not bring something into this faction where you say I need it, or I need this, I need this in any way. So these are some obvious changes. But what about the other ones?
Again, like you have to work on the giant deck. Trample is one. Also, I want to mention Defiant Roar, please. Yes. Because this is basically on the same power level. Wun Wun is not doing enough for his 8 points. Let's make it pretty bluntly.
But it doesn't seem bad, right? I mean, I know exactly what you mean, and I played him before, and I said, just do not spend this one additional point. Just take a Savage Giant, because he will do more for his points. But he doesn't seem bad on paper, I feel. But is that a trap? Would you say, is that a trap? So he's not worth 8 points?
I think he is probably not worth 8 points. He has 3+ armor, which is cool, but giants don't tend to die because of armor hits. They tend to die because they fail one panic test normally.
True.
With something running into them
I
with
heard.
-3 and a panic token.
Yeah.
And he is 4+, which is good, but still, So he's not that much more defensive than other giants.
Okay.
And he is critical blow and sundering, so he's in a way worse than the other giants, or the other giants in terms of offensive potential. He has crit blow, yes, but only 6 dice again. Like if it would have been 7, okay, and Warcry is not what it was back in the days. So all things compared, I think he needs a look. It's not much, but he has to stand out as a character again, and for right now he doesn't.
Yeah.
Coming to the Cave Dweller Alpha, Insight is nice for Cave Dwellers to get to highest attack die value and Vicious. So you have Sundering Vicious, 8 dice, nice. But let's look at Starks real quick. I know we don't want to do comparisons between factions, but they have a same scenario where they have the Berserker unit, which functions equally to Cave Dwellers.
Very
and
similar
they have
unit.
their Umber Champion, and with Insight. And this one got buffed, got Furious Charge, I think.
Yes.
So vulnerable on charge.
Yep.
And the Cave Dweller Alpha did not. And I think, he needs a little something to make him play it again. He's a non-named attachment, I get it, but so is the Umber Champion, right?
Yeah. Same.
So yeah, what do you think about Styre? Did you see Styre in one of your games, or did you play him once?
No,
Chris?
No, I mean, like Styre used to be good, like back in the day, right? Back in the day, he used to be good, but since I think it's quite a long time back. But Styre doesn't. I never like. It comes from two elements basically. The first element is there are just better NCUs within Free Folk, or which you need more. Let's say you need them more.
Yeah.
Val, Craster, Mance, obviously. You just need it more than him. And secondly, himself, I mean, the Sundering and this +1 rank does not fuel the DNA of Free Folk, what you're trying to do. And Giants don't need it. Or like your really hard offensive units, they don't need him. Cave Dweller Savages don't need him. The Giants don't need him. So and all the other units,
1,000 maybe
they might see. But this is the two elements I'm talking about. He's not good enough over other NCUs, and you do not have the units that need him so much to spend 4 points. So he really needs something to make either the high offensive units even better. Or they change him completely in something that fuels raiders, trappers, fence, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So that's that.
Also, one word to Harma's Vanguard again. Like, in my book, Hammer Commander also needs some love because she's such a cool idea. Like it's the the commander which is really swift and speedy,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this is really free folk DNA. But it's not working. It's believe me, like it's not working. And it she has no interaction with Hammer Vanguard whatsoever. Why
Yeah,
not?
yeah,
There could be something,
yeah,
and this would be nice. So maybe work on Hammer Commander in conjunction with Hammer's
yeah.
Vanguard even, and also on the list, like I think the Frozen Shore units, Frozen Shore Chariot is
He's
okay-ish for
okay,
five
right?
points,
I would say
but
he's okay.
like in terms of efficiency, other 5-point units are way better, and they could,
But not as
like,
fast.
yeah,
Yeah,
minor tweak would be nice.
yeah.
And also like the Bear Riders, they are nearly there. They're nearly there, but they
Almost,
need,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
So
I know.
that would be my
Yeah.
wish list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the wish list. Maybe someone hears us. Maybe someone takes this into account when checking Free Folk in the future. Let's see what happens. So let's go now to our sample list. So obviously we prepared Rattleshirt. Guide us through this exciting list I will try soon.
The list tries to make the best out of the Free Folk infantry roster, which has a high diversity of units and very cool units. Also, you obviously go with your bone lords chosen, right?
Absolutely.
And they will be your centerpiece, and they will grind through. Just if they don't get blown out of the water by an alpha charge, they will stick, and they will heal up, and they will do great damage.
Yeah.
In the process.
Yeah.
You have your defensive centerpiece, which is then, we talked about it, Thens in Reaper. You have your Cave Dweller Savages with a Chosen of Steer, just to test out whether I'm correct and I'm right. But I think it should be good. And then one of the best attachments always is Hammer, because it brings Sentinel and your increased mobility, right? And you
On
already have
so seven March pivot, right? Or
you can
pivot
also,
March.
she's also pretty good. I have to say, in Thens, because if you Sentinel in with Thens, then you can really play your Hold the Line, which is great synergy. But she's also great in Spear Rifles. You can obviously also play with Spear Rifles the great combination of Bannerman and Matriarch, which is pretty cool. Swift retreat and then heal from regroup from the Bannerman. But yeah, what I wanted to say, the attachment, a combination of Hammer and the Bannerman is, I think, will be crucial in every Free Folk list that tries to max out the infantry efficiency. And then we have just Varamir to have a cheap unit to get to 9 activations, which we have to do still. And you have like very diversified tool set here. And it should be very fun to play also. And also imagine your potentials with coordination tactics. You could, like, coordination tactics between these units. You have everything you need for every possible situation that might come up.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty interesting list, I guess.
Yeah. So, but one point on Varamir, because sometimes I see it in Free Folk list, Varamir for 3 points, and he does not bring what he usually does. He does not bring the pets. He does not, he doesn't do his thing. So is he just sitting on a token somewhere? How do you play him?
Yeah, he can. I mean, somebody has to in the end, and you probably are not going to table your opponent with this kind of list. So you're playing something with, like, I try to hold the line to kill some units and score, and so he has to be on the scoring duty. But he's still a solo, and he has 12-inch. If you put Iguin on him, he suddenly becomes pretty swift, and so he can do other jobs too, right? But you have to obviously be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's that. So try it out. I'm really excited to try it out because I have, in our local league, I have to play Free Folk right now because they chose that I have to play Free Folk. That's
imagine all the buffs, right?
Yeah.
Spear Rise with 3+.
Yeah. So I will definitely try this one. But I will also try the giant lists I talked about. But Larks can't really listen to me anymore that I want to play this monster list. But he said you might when thinking competitively, you might go for this. So not 2 mammoths because of the discussed. Let's not say drawbacks, but because of the discussed that they probably need a little bit more. Go for Varamir with Wolfpack. And please explain me once more why I should go for Varamir and Wolfpack instead of a second War Mammoth.
I mean, first of all, it's one more activation. That's something to begin with. But then, as I said, like you will face a lot of units that you don't want to face. And that is because they have more abilities than normal people are able to remember. And at least half of them are pretty bad for you.
Yes.
So I think the Wolfpack raises in value and skyrockets. And it's your tool to like the combination of Mag and the Wolfpack. That's what kills units. Not Mag alone typically.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think you really want to bring him. And it would be. I think you needlessly limit yourself. And also, like, he brings mobility. Like, it's an 18-inch movement. It might be 21 with Iguit. If you need something at a certain place to whatever, contest an objective or something. So it helps in certain game modes, or maybe score for enemy deployment zone as a secret mission.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's great value for the 3 points.
Okay.
And you still have 1 mammoth, right? You still have 1 mammoth.
Yeah, I know. I think you convinced me. I think that the sentence on you will face so many like new attachments, and there will be so much more abilities stacked up in these units that really got me because that really got me. So I will change my strategy in this local league to this one now. All right, so that ends the season 6 patch video for Free Folk. I think we covered everything. I think we gave everyone a good idea on where they are right now, where they should be, how they should be played in season 6, and we will all experience together where they are in the course of season 6. So if we have missed anything, if you have your go-to list, you have your thing, you want to just drop it down in the comments below, tell us. We're really interested to read all the comments and see how we can adapt and bring this into our next videos. So any final words from you, Daniel, before we close this?
No, I'm just because maybe I pointed out some points that I see as not optimal or something, but I think Free Folk is like it's such a cool army. It's so
flexible,
thematic.
versatile.
I think it's very unique. It's very unique in this game, and it's so much fun to play. So don't hold back. Go out there, try it out. Whether you are a seasoned Free Folk player, experience with the changes, and talk with us, interact with us on the Discord, here in the comments, and or you are someone who maybe wants to join.
Yeah, maybe you want to join. Talking about joining, let me close this whole video with thanking again for all the support we got on our own Patreon, but also on the Stats funding campaign and on the Stats Patreonship. We gained a lot of followers and new Patreons. That really, really helps us, motivates us, and paves the way for us to improve stats, to work on it relentlessly. So really, we're really, really thankful for this. So please consider becoming a Patreon, joining the funding campaign. Every little contribution counts towards the goal. So thanks again in the name of the whole Hits and Crits team, in the name of Rossi, in the name of Carlo, in the name of this whole community who gained and keeps a great community tool. So, and I think there's nothing more to say. Then until we meet again, roll those crits, guys.
Come for the hits and stay for the crits.